video. New Year's one. Yeah. New Year coming. 10 minutes away. Ooh. Yeah, no real use for that. Be interesting to see if I get a phone call before the new year. I don't think so, though. I think everybody's pretty much pissed off at me. Anyway. Okay, figured, I was reading the old book page, and it does have some stuff in there that's just sort of important. I mean, there's stuff written here, but, there's videos and whatnot, so I'll link to that below. But anyway, designed to be motivated, not satisfied. This is kind of a big one. It's one of those concepts that are it's just written all over the system in terms of, you're designed, you're built, to survive long enough anyway to procreate. Usually procreation will require you to raise your children, so that's another your survival needs to be extended to a point where you're of some use in providing for that service. And, that's because of the niche we've capitalized on as complex organisms. They're just sort of feeding on the rest of the biosphere. And so they do it in this eccentric way. Because big giant blobs just wouldn't cut it. You have to be smarter. Because the other stuff is smart. Smart things force you to be smarter. That's sort of the game. But there's such a thing as too smart, and then we get back into this, violence begets violence thing and all that kind of crap. And there's limits to what intelligence will do good for you and what intelligence will do bad for you. But anyway, just back to the designed to be motivated, not satisfied. It's not the function for you to have a good time. That's not part of the design features. It didn't, the unintelligent designer didn't write that in the blueprint. It's not written in the specifications. Provide for some good time, unless it has something to do with motivating. So it's a biggie. But the second biggest one is sort of next to that one. Moving up here, this is a good one here. Okay. Consciousness is trapped in a zero-sum game. In practical fact, the only true positive is elimination prevention of a true negative. The perception of all other positive worth is an illusion of desire which perverts evaluation of the worth of lesser states of discomfort. So there's a place here where, here it is. Pain and pleasure are not opposites but states of comfort. So, in a sense, you just have a state that you're in of comfort. And there's the best comfort state would be euphoria, some kind of euphoric condition where you're just full of, it's all charming. Whatever the lessest state is, who wants to even think about the lessest state? Whether it's some sort of dismal despair or the harshest pain, the sharpest, jabbiest, cruddiest, twist of the knife kind of in your bones kind of pain or something, or even this emotional crap that just kind of spiral you down into a a despondency. It's a good word, despondency. So anyway, but this is another big one, big, because whenever we progress from the lesser state, from the pain state to the unpained state, we derive a relief. That relief feeling is the euphoria thing, in a sense. You gain a sense of euphoria. And so even though the new state isn't a perfect state, the fact is you feel as if it is, because you are making progress. You are going from a negative place to a less negative place. And that's the catch again. Less negative. You're not going somewhere truly positive. You're just going somewhere less negative. So it's like you make your first $1 million, let's say. You're in a less negative financial condition. But you still can have $10 million. And so again, when you make the jump to $10 million, you gain a benefit because now you're in a less negative position. And it's not really that you're gaining anything positive. You're just eliminating something that you need. And a need condition can only be created by creating a deprivation state, a negative state. A wanting, a desiring. Not that these are harshly, brutal, emotional states, but they can't be manifest in anything other than an organism that's something less than euphoric. So again, you have to be hungry. You have to be not full, not satisfied. So again, we're back to the perpetual, almost, dissatisfaction, because that's what you're designed to be. So even if you get what you think you desire, or what you do desire it, but you think you need, put it that way, the thing you desire and think you need, you get that, and you will find, in all likelihood, that your eye wanders to the next desirable. You're compulsively in need of being in desire. So even if you fix something, you will find something else broken. The thing will pop out like a Pez dispenser. Your need will keep coming. There'll be no end to them. Yeah, and so that's another biggie. It is zero sum. You're just trying to undo the negative state. You're born in a negative state. You're born crying and whining for something, needing temperature and needing food and needing warmth and needing all this stuff. And if you don't have it, you'll be in discomfort and you will reflexively react to that negative state. And all the reactions too are just the psychological crap. It's all these knee-jerky kind of reflexes of our psychology that dictate most of these states. They contrive your hunger, and they contrive your loneliness, and they contrive your ego deprivation, even your sense that you haven't done enough, or you haven't finished enough, or you didn't do well enough, you didn't score high enough on the test, or some other stupid thing. And it's just this psychological crap that manifests this sense of unfinished, undone, something else needs doing, something else needs shagging kind of attitude that just perpetuates your momentum through the maze, through the game. And psychologically, you could, if you had the capacity to be dishonest, if you have the capacity to find real purpose in the fake. We do sense, you do get this argument with virtual reality where people just really despise anything that doesn't seem real, it doesn't seem legitimate, valid. And that is kind of a strange reaction, but yeah, we have this strange reaction to the synthetic form of happiness, and yet we're all quite comfortable watching a movie and, in a sense, living vicariously for a little while in that fantasy. Just occurred to me in the process of this to bring that up, but it's not really relevant to this, I don't think. Well, it is a little. Yeah, well, let's measure how relevant it is and waste time doing that. But it is just, emotions, like desire, are largely projections of negative and conditioned psychology that have dubious credibility as aids to understanding actual value. Dubious credibility as aids to understanding actual value. See, that's an important one, too. And I've tried to attempt to talk about that, but I mean, I might as well try it one more time. It is a little bit of a complex concept, because what's basically being stated is that things have value in how they can impact things that can feel. But what we think has value, like something like a card with, written this by somebody to me, and it, says something, love you, blah, 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 blah. That would have value to me because it does something for my ego, because it does something to satisfy my need to be acknowledged or to be awarded or to be perceived as if I have satisfied my contractual kind of deal with the world, that you will find use for me, and that will make me feel better because I'm now useful to somebody. That kind of value is just all projection. It's all stuff we see the value in it. We create the value. Well, I've already made the point, but I mean, everything you desire is a desire made out of the projection of value, and that the stuff that has real value goes deeper than that. I mean, yes, these things have value in their capacity to impact us, but they don't have intrinsic value. The only thing that has intrinsic value is the thing they're impacting. The emotional state has value. What causes the emotional state is meaningless. The emotional state has value. What causes the emotional state is meaningless. That's sort of the truth here. And so again, we're back to this, what I was getting to, with the idea of just making it up. Just create the illusion in your head that you are a millionaire, that you have a yacht, that you have successfully shagged them all, that you're doing really well. I mean, just create the illusion in your head and make it so. And there should be a sense of, satisfaction if you can do it well enough, if you can fool yourself into believing that. And you'll get the reciprocal, the consequential sense of elation and joy. And everything's okay because this truth exists. But yeah, it's a little difficult to do, Okay, so it has successfully made it to the new year in this, whatever you call those, in this time zone. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. Yay, it's a new year. There's 13 on it, cool. 13, kind of a lucky number. I used to live in a house, the 13th house on the street. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. 13's always been kind of a good number for me, actually. But that doesn't mean anything, right? We know that that's just more bullshit, right? I just said something that's just complete bullshit. 13's been a lucky number for me. Yeah, bullshit. I mean, that's just bullshit. Circumstantial nonsense. Just complete rubbish. But that's what we do. We contrive this rubbish to live by. It gives us a little sense of security. I just gave myself a little sense of security. I just, 13 has been pretty lucky for me, so maybe this year will be okay. Some little crap like that just spun around in my head. And fortunately, I'm smart enough now that I caught it. And I said, wait a minute, that's really stupid. But yeah, the downside is I'm smart enough to catch it, which means that I'm not smart enough to fall for it, which means that now I have to go back to, oh shit, I'm really fucked, because I don't have 13 on my side. 13 isn't lucky for me. It isn't anything. It's just the stupid number. So I'm back to being just totally fucked. Another fucking year of jeopardy. I mean, the real numbers are that, with every year that passes now, the odds of me dying of something horrible, it becomes a real possibility now. It's a real number on the dice, Because most of your life, the early part of your life, you can roll the dice pretty comfortably, because you have to do the, say if there's 3 dice, you'd have to get 3 6s or 3 snake eyes, 3 1s. So it wouldn't be snake eyes, it would be whatever has 3 eyes. I can't think of one offhand, but whatever, that thing, eyes. And so you're sort of living in a kind of a more comfortable world, because the odds of the horror are, you got some time to play with these dice. You can roll them, without being too afraid. But yeah, as you get older, those numbers get worse and worse, and all of a sudden it just becomes like any number over a 7 and you're fucked. I mean, every roll of the dice gets really dicey. So anyway, I have to do something with that, because that's it's a very interesting when you start looking at the real statistics and what your odds are of dying in just your age category. There's lots of other things you could add to that to expand those numbers or contract that number. But just for people of your age category, what the odds are in any one year of you dying. it does get kind of interesting because it really starts to get the bad news shows up. You know, at around 50 is when things really start declining. Your luck starts running out, and you know, every year is dicey. But anyway, that's a whole separate subject. But again, it's another one of these subjects that's related to this idea of perception and comfort, and you know, just how humbling it is to when you really got to face the beast. Yeah, when the monster of failure is right in your face, or the monster of some kind of real the nasty bits. You know, when you've really got to walk across real frickin' spikes. You know. Anyway, let's see if there's anything else in here. Nature sucks. That's certainly a good one, but yeah, we won't go into that. This was sort of the last bit. Engineering solutions is the only rational choice. You know, shorten line between desire and fulfillment and satisfaction. That's another one. It's just, you know, when you do this shortening of the line thing, this rational process of pulling weeds or, you know, getting rid of inefficiency, it just, the rational truth is that need is the problem. Need cures all diseases. Need cures all problems. It cures all negative situations. Eliminate the need, and you don't have to do it, and then you don't have a problem. So it's you know, it's fail safe is a good solution, and fail safe is don't even play with it. Don't roll the dice. Quit messing with this nonsense. So anyway, that's the real message in all of this is go ahead and live your life. Try not to be miserable. Really, try not to be miserable. Try not to let it suck the motivation out of you and knock you out of the game. But yeah, do what you need to do to say, wait a minute, the real truth of the context of the game, I do understand that the game is stupid. I mean, it's like playing with, you could be addicted to playing with dolls or something, right? And you could just admit, well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a silly waste of time, and it's kind of nonsense. But you can still do it if you need to, if you want to. But just admit what it is, and just admit what life is. You don't have to think your personal life is futile, and that you suck, and that everything sucks, and everything blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do all that crap if it gets in your way, if it makes you feel bad. But just admit it when you need to, philosophically. Don't be selling the same poison you're addicted to, or you're caught up in, or you're blighted by. You know, don't sit in the quicksand and seduce other people in. You know, do your best to not drown in the shit, but don't drag other people in. I mean, don't on the pretense that you're winning. You're that silly. You think you're doing well enough to fuck with somebody else, to drag them into your swamp. I don't think anybody's doing well enough for that. Not even close to well enough. I mean, they all should be able to recognize that. So anyway, enough. Designed to be motivated, not satisfied. Really, big one. Big. Okay, so that's really enough. So until next time, probably do an EfilDay just for fun tomorrow. Yeah, if I can, you know. I don't know if there is a tomorrow. I don't know.